Hey, this is Joe Castiglione, and you're listening to Not Another Sox Podcast. Can you believe it?
Yankees suck! Yankees suck!
Buenos noches, amigos, and welcome to another episode of Not Another Sox Podcast. I am Jack Webster here with our producer, Ian Doran.
Shalom.
Coming at you live from Providence, Rhode Island. Fellas, at least the Yankees got eliminated, too.
They were so bad, dude.
Yep.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Yeah, that just makes us look worse from how bad they were, but
I know.
yeah, there is that.
I know. The whole time I was watching, I was like, God, the Sox would have... Oh, Marco.
Yeah, were we muted that whole time?
Let's start again.
Buenos noches, amigos, and welcome to another episode of Not Another Sox Podcast. I am Jack Webster here with our producer, Ian Doran, coming at you live from Providence, Rhode Island. Fellas, the Yankees got eliminated. We're doing this all again, yeah.
They played so bad against the Blue Jays.
They did, yeah, and that just makes us feel worse for being bad in the first place. So.
Yeah, but it also makes me feel really good.
Yeah, no, as long as they didn't do anything this year, I count that as a win.
They didn't.
Yeah, no, that's a win. That's a win.
The fact that they beat us in the two following postseason games was actually nobody's fault but our own, which doesn't feel a lot better, but it does feel a little better.
Just a little bit. And I mean, and then game 3 is just whatever. So,
Yep.
you know, we would have lost the next round anyways. You wish you didn't lose to the Yankees. That sucks. We talked all about it last week. I would have been, I would have much rather lost to like the Guardians or Tigers, like in the first round somehow. But it is what it is. As long as, they don't win it, which they might never again. They might never again.
Yeah, as of January 1st, 2.5 months from now, in the last 25 years, Yankees will have won one title, which, correct me if I'm wrong, is not good.
Yeah, when we have more than one.
How many do we have?
Not only have one, we have more than one.
How many do we have?
11? No. 700. Somewhere?
Yeah. No, you got it. I think you got it.
Okay.
I think you got it. Yeah, Yankees looked really terrible. We were all gleefully hate watching the Yankees get railroaded by the Blue Jays, running a train. Felt so good.
I loved just a little bit of hope, though. Like, so it was so funny because Aaron Judge had all the fakest hits of all time.
Yep.
Which is so perfect. The Yankees fan in my office was just like, no, he's showing up. Oh, no, he's their best one. And, like, that's sad when he was their best one. And then in Game 3, he had the fakest clutch home run I've ever seen in my entire life. People were literally saying this is Aaron Judge's signature postseason moment. And you know what? It is. Which is the sad part, that his signature home run moment comes in Game 3 of the ALDS. And your team's already down 0-2 in the series. And that's the moment, Yankees fans are going to remember for the whole time, or their whole lives, or Aaron Judge's postseason career. That's hilarious.
I love him on my fantasy team.
Yeah, well, that's completely different.
Exactly.
Yeah, because he can just stat pad, Cutter is king during garbage time, is the most unethical, player that you're going to see out there.
Hi, Cutter is king.
Sometimes he joins us. Yeah.
Sometimes he does. What's funny to me is the amount of people that shit on Cutter is king in his account. But Cutter is king invented the is king account, and now there are how many hundreds of copies that wish they could live up to that stardom on Twitter.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Devers Enjoyer. He started it.
May
I'm
he
pretty
rip
sure.
in peace.
And even if he didn't start it, he popularized it. So that's what matters, anyways. At the end of the day, so just a pair of goats. I miss Devers Enjoyer so much, even though he would have been so sad during the what was that, July when that all went down, or June even, just middle of June.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that this? Was this
That
year?
was this year.
Oh,
Yeah. What
man,
a long
dude.
fucking year.
Someone should call Twitter headquarters.
Yeah.
Are you gonna do it?
I might be on hold for a bit.
Calling Twitter headquarters?
Yeah. Well, I don't think Twitter had anything to do with the Red Sox Devers trade. So
Oh, why don't we
I don't know
ask
why I'm calling them. I should be calling John and Craig.
John and Craig?
Yeah.
You don't want to call San Francisco? Why don't you ask Rock?
Oh man,
You should
I
ask
hate
Rock.
this.
You don't want to ask Rock about
Yeah.
Devers and Joyer?
No. Yeah.
No, totally okay. Well, speaking
Just
of,
like the ocean on fire.
yeah, no, you can't do that. You
No.
can't do that.
Yeah, you shouldn't. We're doing it though. That's
We
the
should.
thing. Yeah.
Speaking of goats, you are wearing an all-time classic jersey. Let's jump into our fit check.
Yeah. No. People thought I was gonna wear this one last week, but guess what? Pranked.
Stupid.
Yeah, so obviously you can guess what team we might be cheering for in the playoffs here. And even if you're just listening to this, I think people have a pretty good idea of what it is. We got the teal Mariners jersey. It's kind of hard to tell, but it still sparkles on it. And then, of course, we have one of the best players of all time,
Number
Ken Griffey
24.
Jr. Yeah, just good number. Great player. Wish he stayed healthy. Probably could have broken the all-time like home run record or some shit. Then we got this thrifted hat that I got. A little Vancouver Grizzlies matches with the teal, and you might be saying, "Oh, that's a Canadian team," you know, even though they're not anymore. But Vancouver is a lot closer to Seattle than it is to Toronto, so those are like worlds apart.
Yeah, where are the Grizzlies now?
I think Tennessee. I don't know.
Wow, that's a huge buyout. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's not even close.
No.
It's I always find it funny, and it happens like a lot more in like the NBA. But like when a team changes like the city to keep the name, like the Lakers are called the Lakers because they're in Minnesota, the land of 1,000 lakes,
Mhm.
and then like the Utah Jazz, like that, they just make no sense. The Los Angeles Dodgers because of the Trolley Dodgers of Brooklyn. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, like it. I'm glad that we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, or the Boston Braves being the Atlanta Braves.
In the Milwaukee Braves at one point.
Oh, I forgot the Milwaukee Braves were.
Yeah, I know. I know you would have forgotten.
Well, yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did. You're right. But how many years ago was that? That
That was a long ass
yeah,
time ago at this point. Yeah.
forever. And the Brewers have changed sides multiple times. They were AL and then NL and AL and
Yeah,
NL.
and they used to be in Seattle. Like that's where they started off. So we could have a Seattle versus Seattle World Series.
The amount of history, Riz, you're dropping right now is phenomenal.
Yeah, the go Seattle Pilots.
Go see.
Yeah.
That was my soccer team as a kid, the Pilots. But getting back to what was it? The Yankees losing.
Oh yeah, I almost
Yeah.
forgot about that.
Getting run a train on by the Blue Jays. We got some really terrible, terrible, sad news about the Yankees. They're releasing my favorite coach, Aaron Boone. It's been announced they are likely to cut ties with Aaron Boone at the end of the year, which is so sad. Yankees, extend Aaron Boone. You should extend him.
Where are you seeing that? I have not seen anything that if he was gonna get fired, it would have already happened.
I don't think he's been fired. It sounds like they're cutting ties, so I don't know what his contract looks like because I don't care that much. But he's been in conversations as the Padres manager because the Padres manager is retiring after this year. And I think I saw him in conversations as the Angels manager too. But I did read it on Twitter. I think it was a John Heyman account that I read that on, but
Interesting. So he was just like a free agent at the end of the year.
maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. I reposted on my Twitter. I hope I didn't fall.
I am blocked by John Heyman, so yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
How did you do that?
Believe it or not, I am indeed blocked by the John Heyman for
How
calling
did,
him fat and stupid, probably.
Oh man,
Yeah.
dude, calling him fat and stupid.
Yeah.
You can't really be both, can you?
No,
Are you
can be
allowed?
both, yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm just trying to find where you saw that because I haven't seen anything about it.
Yeah. Well, you know what? If I'm a liar, then go on the internet and complain.
Yeah. Okay.
And if I'm a liar, I already made a post about it on Twitter, so oops.
Okay.
I guess I don't
Yeah.
know. But Yankees,
There's no fake news on Twitter.
none.
Yeah, all the reliable sources.
I am gonna double down. Yankees should extend Aaron Boone.
No, I think they do. I mean, they're this close. It's right in front of them.
It's right there. It's not like Aaron Boone has brought them to multiple losing postseasons.
Yeah, it's so funny because Aaron Boone said before the playoffs, "This is the best team I've ever had here," which is basically him just saying like he can't get the job done because if it's the best team he's ever had and he's getting worse, that would mean it's his problem then.
I mean, I could have told you that.
That's his own logic.
That's it. Yeah, I could have told you that, man. Like, Aaron Boone without this Yankees roster would be a losing manager every year.
No, absolutely. And you know what? I'm going to just go ahead and accept it. So,
a lot of people give Cora flack for having a spectacular winning team in 2018 based on the talent he had. But like Aaron Boone with that team could not have won a World Series. Mm-hmm. Aaron Boone only makes it to the postseason because the team he has on paper is phenomenal. And
yeah, basically anybody could like captain that ship.
Yeah, like you.
I think I could do it. Yeah, literally, you just have to like be like Aaron Judge, go play right field. Oh.
Yeah, actually, shout out to at Yankees Files, our rivals on the other side of Twitter. You guys should coach that Yankees team. I bet you do.
They might
way
do
better
too
than
good.
Aaron Boone.
Yeah.
They might they might get 100 wins.
Yeah.
But speaking of coaching returns, another big announcement that we got definitively is that most of the Red Sox coaching staff is returning.
Yeah, I mean, when you make the playoffs, most of the guys are going to return. You're not going to usually have like massive turnover or anything like that. I was curious to see a few of them. Obviously, there's a few guys we're not bringing back or like haven't been announced yet at least. So I was a little disappointed by some of them, but not surprised at the same time.
What were the ones that made you sad or disappointed?
Really only one. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I think the one that people were curious about was Pete Fatsy.
Yep.
As we've talked about on this program before. I could see why they want to keep him, just consistent messaging, and if that's their philosophy and they believe in it, then like who else are you gonna get? But it just seems like there's always like a lot of Red Sox players that you can get more out of.
Yep.
And the offense is usually average to above average. We're like 11th in weighted runs created plus this year. Like, good amount of runs scored and not a lot of pop really, which also not too much his fault, but it was just more like the inconsistencies, especially with a guy like Rafaela, or, you saw it even with dudes like Romy Gonzalez and Carlos Narvaez had his ups and downs too, but I think that was kind of more just banged up. So I thought it might be time to move on.
You could also look at general performance with runners in scoring position.
Yeah. Runners in scoring positions can be a little fluky, to be fair. Like
okay.
I wouldn't judge that on Fatsy because that's like on the players at that point.
Sure.
Like the players obviously do take the lion's share. So
sure.
Yeah. But I thought it might benefit just having a different voice in there since it hasn't really been going like as great as you might think. At least these aren't the Red Sox world-beating offenses like we grew up with, or in 2018 or in 2007 or whatever. So, it's obviously going to come down to like who we get. But I thought it was a possibility that we actually might have some turnover there.
I was hoping for some turnover. It looks like they've released the assistant hitting coach.
Yeah.
Or who Pete Fatsy's right-hand man would have been. I'm curious to see what that does for the hitting on this team, though I can't imagine that's a major change.
No.
Fatsy was also the name that stood out to me where I was like, if there's any one guy in here that I think could have used a change of scenery, it's your hitting coach. And then Kyle Hudson in there too. I think people are putting a lot of weight on his incorrect call to not send Eaton in the playoffs. But he also does outfield defense, doesn't he, Kyle Hudson?
Yeah, he does. That's usually what you see with the base coaches, too. It's not like they're just standing out there and that's their only job.
Yeah, they're not just chubs.
And honestly, like, you had the Eaton one, and that's the last memory people have. And people always are quick to just blame the third base coach. But there were some good sends I remember throughout the year. It doesn't really matter all that much. Like, it's most of the time the player making the decision at the end of the day anyway. So I don't care as much about that. But when it comes to like the outfield defense, like, he's done a phenomenal job. Like, let's be real here. Obviously, you have a guy like Cedon Rafaela who doesn't really even need that much.
Yes.
Yeah. But even turning like Willie Abreu in from like a good glove to like a great glove, and Jarren Duran was a horrible fielder when he came up, and now he's at least average-ish.
Well, he had one year where he was a phenomenal fielder in two positions, and this year he was a little below average in his defensive stats. But
and even Roman Anthony, like, he's looked great since he's come up in the outfield.
He looks surprisingly great in the outfield.
Yeah, so that I knew they weren't going to get rid of him. I would have been very surprised just for the outfield defense alone.
Yeah. Like I said, I think people just put a lot of weight on him not sending Eaton, but like, when you look at the organization as a whole, if you're like the third base coach choosing whether or not to send players makes or breaks this team, I think you got to revisit your approach.
No, absolutely. The other one I was curious to see, and it's still somewhat up in the air, but apparently it's viewed as likely to happen, is Jason Varitek returning.
Okay.
So he's done well with like Carlos Narvaez and probably gotten the most out of Connor Wong that you're gonna.
Yep.
But in terms of like what he actually does and for game planning, there was a lot of times this year where we looked planless. We looked like we had no idea what was coming against certain pitchers and just unprepared and just lost out there, especially game 3. We did not have like any type of strategy. You see Cam Schlittler like just suck against the Blue Jays because they actually had a plan. They knew they could work them. They were fouling off pitches, and he ended up even having a good decent outing or whatever. But like when he looked like he was like prime Cy Young, like doing like all these record breaking things against you, that's when you can point out like, okay, like we just were not ready.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would unfortunately give Cam Schlittler a little more credit because he was playing well. But the Red Sox were also playing like ass.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot of run prevention in that one. It's just why don't we just pivot right over to Cam Schlittler? Why don't we just talk about that instead? And all the Twitter debacle that followed with Cam Schlittler.
Like that was just the dumbest shit ever. He was just looking for shit to be like upset about. So like, obviously all the stuff happened with like his mom like having the Red Sox Twitter bio and everything, and like fans pointed out like, hey, this Yankees player's mom likes the Red Sox. Ha ha. And all of a sudden, apparently that's the worst thing you can do in the entire world.
Yeah.
But
this guy's a phony.
Yeah. And then, like Yankees fans were like just complaining and crying about it, saying we're awful. And then literally the next week, Trey Yesvarche, I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yep. No, that was probably right.
That was probably right. He's like, yeah, please stop sending death threats to my family, from Yankees fans. So they like to act, just completely holier than thou, and like, oh no, like we're the victims here. Vlad Jr. said Yankees suck. Oh, they're playing New York. Meanwhile, like they're just the absolute worst fan base that every other like team hates and all these other players hate, and they just have this victim mentality. So they're like, everybody hates us, even though we like yell at them. We have 27 rings and we're the best.
Aaron Judge.
Yeah, literally.
Vlad Jr. did say many times that he hated the Yankees.
He also didn't say that. He just said they lost, which is factual.
Yeah, he has said in the past many times. That
he does. He fucking hates them more than us, arguably, which is fantastic.
And he proved that in his actions in the past week by beating the absolute shit out of them.
Oh my god, I know he was extended, but like it would have been so good just to have somebody that like absolutely hates the Yankees on the Red Sox like that. So
Yeah, just getting in there and
other
killing
than
the
Hunter
Yankees, but-
Dobbins, because he also hates the Yankees.
Yeah, can you blame him?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
Can
even
you
if that story
blame
was fake, it's even funnier.
Yeah, Bayo also hates the Yankees.
He does. Bayo. Oh my god, that was so funny.
Hates the
yeah,
Yankees.
Bayo fucking hates the Yankees, which is phenomenal. Which is why I like him.
Yeah.
They should keep him.
Yeah, and granted, he didn't have a long outing in the game that we had played, but historically, Bayo against the Yankees just cuts him up like watermelon. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
That was disappointing in game 2. Is like you were wishing that you just got that like prime like fuck you against them, but he just did not have it that day. But that's in the past. So.
It is. And while we're on the topic of Yankees, before we move on to our next topic, the press conference, we over the weekend we went to a wedding together. For all the listeners that know that we are friends, we are actually friends in real life. We went to a wedding and we met a Yankees fan who hates Jazz Chisholm. Who just
that's right.
hates
Yeah.
Jazz Chisholm because he has a loud mouth and a hole in his glove. And it made me feel good to know that Yankees also hate Jazz Chisholm because he sucks.
Oh no, a lot of them love him, but he that one guy was cool.
Yeah, that one guy who hates Jazz Chisholm, he's right. But we saw the press conference the other day. A lot of typical word salad. You know, some things felt truthful-ish, some things didn't. Some things felt like you're talking to media, right? But we pulled a few things out of that. I definitely took some notes. I'm curious what your reaction to that press conference is.
So, I mean, obviously, a lot of those press conferences are just the same type of stuff, very uncommitted to
Right.
like actual whatever. And, you know, we've seen it in years past where it blew up in their face with the whole, you know, full throttle and yada yada. So I think ever since then, they've really been a lot more reserved. And you know what? They get a lot more room to talk after, you know, actually improving the team and
Yes.
spending money, being above the tax, making the playoffs. So, you know, it's a lot of the stuff that, like, you would just expect
Yep.
in there. Like, you know, these are the areas we want to improve. Yeah, and these are the areas all the fans know. Like, we need to improve
Uh-huh.
too. Like, yeah, we're all on board. We need some more pitching. First base would be cool to figure out.
Yep.
Like, other than that, you know, they didn't even commit to like any of the staff or anything either during their, like, sometimes you'll get like, oh, hey, like this coach is not returning, or, you know, like this player had surgery or whatever, but we didn't even really get too much of that.
No, we
Yeah.
really didn't.
I was
But-
watching live and I was just like not even paying attention.
Yeah, I kind of had it on in the background, just like in the middle of the day. It was more like a podcast. Actually, less than a podcast because I was listening less than I would.
No.
But at least what I pulled out of it, I got that they're looking for more pop on the bat. They're looking for more home runs, which we can all agree. Yeah, you kind of lacked on your hit for power this year.
Trevor Story should not be leading the team with 25 home runs.
He should. Oh, well, that's the most this year.
That was the most.
Was 25?
Yeah.
Yikes! Didn't Devers get way more than that by the end of the year?
Yeah, he probably got 30 plus.
Yeah. Oh, man. Trevor Story was good.
Yeah, he was good. Like
He was.
25 from Trevor Story, you'll take that any season.
Yep.
But yeah, when there's nobody else really even that close, I think Willier got to low 20s.
I think Willier was at 22 going into the postseason.
And you know, Sadon didn't get there. Jaron didn't get there.
No.
I don't even think Bregman got there. Did he?
No.
Yeah.
No, because he was hurt. He
yeah, he
missed
was
so
hurt.
much of.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could use the pop. I think that makes for some interesting looks and transactions in the offseason if you're looking for a power bat. But that's what I pulled, was that they wanted more home runs. They're going to start their starting pitching search, which we all knew they would, and there's a very, very wide range of talent out there that is acquirable for the Red Sox, and that they're really focused on meaningful upgrades, which they say all the time, but I think there's
And
a lot of
they did
truth
get
to
last
that.
year. Like
Yeah,
they
they
did
did.
get meaningful upgrades last year, both offensively and defensively.
I totally agree, and I like the philosophy of meaningful upgrades because, like, you could trade Tristan Casas, but if you just fill that with like Carlos Santana,
Yeah.
who's a decent player, but he's going on 40. You know what I mean? Like, he's at the end of his road. That's not a meaningful upgrade. If you go from Costas to like Vlad Jr. as an example,
Or like Pete Alonso, a guy that's actually out there.
Pete Alonso, which there's a lot of talk about him being in talks with Boston. I don't think it happens. I think he's going to be a very expensive first baseman for an area of need I don't know if the Red Sox have right now. But you're right. That would be a meaningful upgrade. A guy like Pete Alonso who would play there every day.
I don't think he gets the 7 years he's looking for. He gets 4 or 5.
No,
Yeah.
7 years
Yeah.
was crazy to me.
I literally laughed out loud when I saw that. I was like, buddy, like,
It's the meme of the
Yeah.
guy putting the hand on
it
the
literally
shoulder.
is, yeah.
7 years. How old is he?
He's like early 30s.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
looks old. Maybe it's the receding hairline that fools me. He looks older.
Yeah, no. He's just a big fella, so
Yeah, oh Lord, he coming.
yeah.
So this is gonna like bring us into a few places. I think I want to start with the starting pitching because that's like the big topic of conversation. But what are in your mind, some of the potential targets for starting pitching? Some of the potential trade teams
Yeah.
that would have starting pitching you'd be interested in?
Yeah, there's only a few starters on the free agent market that like I would consider like noticeable upgrades, kind of like, you know,
Sure.
you're saying like, and there's a few dudes that I don't think the Red Sox go after. Like, I don't think they end up going like after Fromber or like Dylan Cease or someone like that.
Sure.
And that really only leaves like guys like, you know, Ranger Suarez or like
Who would be
Michael
really
King.
interesting? Michael King
Yeah,
would be
like
interesting.
those guys I'd be very excited about. And then like you keep going down the list and it's like, you know, like, oh, Merrill Kelly would be nice, but like, you know, he's kind of mid to back end. Like,
Right.
oh, Zach Gallen, he used to be good and now he kind of is.
Yeah.
ugh.
Now you got to fix him.
Yeah, now you gotta, you know, do a reclamation project or so. It's a pretty short list for that, but I think there could be some pitchers, specifically from like a few teams. So obviously, you know, Joe Ryan. Yeah.
Who?
But not the other guy I have interest on the Twins from is Pablo Lopez. He was
Yep.
hurt a bit this last year, wasn't the best, but I think, you know, you could get a lot more out of him. He has been a frontline guy recently, so you know, obviously you want the Joe Ryan, but he would still be like a good addition.
He would cost money.
Yeah. I think the team that we probably pair up the best with, though, is the Cincinnati Reds.
Tell me more.
So they have not gotten too much outfield production other than
Yep.
other than like maybe one or two dudes out there, and we have an outfielder to trade, which probably also ends up happening.
Mm-hmm.
So they got some good starters out there. I don't think they give up like Hunter Green or Chase Burns.
No, I think
but-
Hunter Green, like Paul Skeens, is just untouchable.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like they got their dude. So
Yep.
I think, you know, in the right trade, they would give up like a Nick Lodolo or Andrew Abbott or even like Brady Singer, who,
Yeah.
you know, is pretty decent. So I could see something working out between those two teams. You know, might be some other like players or prospects in there or something, but I think it makes sense for both sides.
It does. The Reds have a really interesting pitching rotation, and I like all of those guys quite a bit. With our outfield surplus, it looks like in the coming year, Rob Refsnyder's going to hit free agency. I don't know if we bring him back or not. TBD.
Yeah.
Same with Masataka Yoshida. Technically an outfielder.
He's still under contract for 2 years. He's not even a free agent.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when you think of your outfield surplus, is he a tradable outfield? You hope he is, but is he?
That's one where you're either eating some or attaching a dude. But like,
Yeah.
that's not even like in the conversation. I'm talking about one of the main outfielders. You know, since you got to make room for Roman Anthony,
sure.
probably don't trade Sadon, so that comes, you know, between Jaron and Willier. So
Yep.
yeah,
Yep, the conversation that's been had all year.
Yeah.
And you got.
And I think you
Stinson-
finally have to make a decision on it. Like
You
at the
do.
trade deadline, it ended up being good that we didn't. But
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, you got Yo Stinson coming up too, who's been playing
Also
really
could just be
well.
traded, but yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you could do that. You could just trade it.
Which will like if there was ever a trade piece, he is our Clint Frazier and Miguel Andujar.
Yeah, he is our Nick York of trade pieces. If you were to target one Reds pitcher in particular, who would you grab?
I think Abbott has the highest ceiling.
You like Abbott?
And he had a great year. You have a little bit more control. You would probably maybe even have to throw in a dude as well, but I would love to have him on a rotation. I think in our lab too, he could end up being really good.
You could probably throw in like a Tyler Uberstein.
Yeah, exactly. Like you could throw in Yostinson Garcia. So
you definitely could. And we had talked a bit about it earlier, but Guardians are also going to be looking for outfield help.
They are. I don't think they would want to give up too much of their pitching, though.
You don't think so?
Yeah, since they're a little thinner in starting pitching than they usually are.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, the guys that they have, I don't think they want to trade Tanner Bybee. I don't think they want to trade Gavin Williams. And there wasn't really too many other guys that caught my eye too much in the rotation outside of that. So, unless they're open to trading one of them, might not be the best fit. So, because I think if we are trading one of the outfielders, it's going to be for Major League talent back. We're not doing this for prospect capital, you know?
Yeah. Did you say that Tristan McKenzie is a free agent?
Yeah, and he's also been bad for 4 years and injured.
He has been. Yeah. He hasn't been great. He would be a reclamation project, but if he's willing to sign a minor league deal in Boston,
there's no such thing as a bad minor league deal. So
yeah,
I think he just likes the organization.
Brian Mata was a bad minor league deal.
I don't know. Didn't hurt us at all. So
all right, you got a point. Sorry, you were saying Tristan McKenzie, not a bad minor league deal.
Yeah, he probably just ends up back in Cleveland. Like he seems to like it there. They already like released him and he re-signed with them. So why not?
Yeah. I floated this earlier. Do you think there's any potential of a Jose Ramirez coming to Boston if Bregman is not?
I'm pretty sure he has a no trade. So when he extended, so I doubt it. I mean, Cleveland did make the playoffs still. Like,
they did, and he is their star player, far and away.
He signed that contract with them knowing, he was either going to sign that contract or they're going to trade him, and he chose to take a hometown discount. So I would be shocked if they did, and even if they were open to it, every other team would also be in on him.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about there. There's one more aspect of the starting pitching I would love to chat about.
Also, the Marlins have some guys that I would be interested in, too. I mean, they still got Edward Cabrera. They still got, Sandy Alcantara, who ended up having a good second half.
Who's still good, yep.
So I think there could be something there, too. They could probably use an outfielder, or, they could just trade those guys for prospects or something. So I could see that being a fit too. And then
didn't they have another guy too that would have been an interesting trade piece, or was that Luzardo who's already been traded?
Oh, that might have been Luzardo, yeah. And then you also have the Nationals with Tristan McKenzie, especially now that you have the Paul Taboni connection.
The Nationals don't have Tristan McKenzie. I think you mean Mackenzie Gore.
Oh, Mackenzie Gore. Yeah,
yes,
sorry. Yeah,
that's
whoopsies.
Okay. I tricked you.
Yeah.
Mackenzie Gore in Boston. I would.
Yeah,
I'd blow a load for that.
It would cost you a lot, but even with the not the best numbers in the world necessarily, I think they don't want to trade him unless they're getting something real good back. But they should rebuild. Ugh.
They should. He's the return for the Soto trade.
Yeah, so, and they also got James Wood and C.J. Abrams in that same trade too. So,
they do who are doing well for the Nationals, I guess, but. Mackenzie Gore would be interesting. Marlins would be interesting.
Also, Mariners, grow up and trade us a pitcher already.
Get his ass, dude. Bury him.
How have we not fucked yet?
George Kirby.
We have been doing the will they, won't they for 3 seasons now. This is just every sitcom where these two characters are going to get together and they need to just fuck already.
Which pitcher should the Mariners trade us, Webb?
I would still love George Kirby.
I also would love George Kirby.
I don't think they trade Woo or Gilbert or I could use Hancock, and plus that would be funny. Yeah,
Hancock.
foot penis.
Hancock in Boston, foot penis in Boston. I think I would still prefer Kirby. Brian Wu had an unbelievable
Yeah,
year.
I don't think
He
they
was
trade
so
him.
good.
Nor should they.
No,
but,
they
yeah.
shouldn't. They should keep him. Logan Gilbert, maybe. I want Kirby.
Yeah, that
We should fuck for Kirby.
Yeah, and they could use a right fielder. I'm pretty sure. So
Yeah, hashtag fuck for Kirby.
Yeah.
Um, so why don't we get ready to head to our break here? We do have a message from our friends over at Delete Me.
Love those guys.
Yeah, big fan. Delete Me makes it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online at a time when surveillance and data breaches are common enough to make everyone vulnerable. So if you actually go over to our banners, we should have a little overlay from Delete Me that should have some fun little information there. Media assets, scroll down. So it'd be in the overlay, actually. That one, the white one at the bottom.
Oh, there we go.
Nope, one next to it on its right. That one. Yes.
There we go.
There it is.
I
Nice
did the
little
technology.
overlay.
I didn't know that we were doing
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, here we have, for those watching on YouTube, watching the video version of this, we have the
Which
promotion
I
from
recommend,
Delete Me.
or actually, they don't give us views for online, so don't do that. But
Yeah,
yeah,
you know what? Give us both.
Yeah,
We
do
want-
both,
Give
yeah.
us both. Important to note when talking about Delete Me, we do get a say in some of the ads that we want to run on the show. Delete Me is a great one, I think, because data brokers are buying our data all of the time, which makes me so mad. Like, my birthday belongs to me, and also what I look up in my spare time. I don't need to see collapsible bikes every time I turn. So Delete Me is really great for not selling off data to advertisers to make profits off of. I mean, don't you just hate that?
I still need to jump on board of this. Yeah.
Yeah, I do too. But I think Delete Me is a great way to do that and to take control of your online data. So take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me now at a special discount for our listeners here at Not Another Socks Podcast. Get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/hit and use promo code HIT at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to go join deleteme.com/hit and enter code HIT at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/hit, spelled HIT, code HIT. So, that being said, what's the commercial this week, Jack Webster?
Oh man, I'm gonna say it is sneakers.
Let's go to sneakers.
Yep. Oh man, sneakers, they do go on your feet.
Welcome back from
Yeah.
sneakers, I hope. I don't know. What if it wasn't sneakers?
Yeah, it was probably
Toes.
Yeah, just toes.
Toes. We're talking a bit about the starting pitching. I want to revisit that because here's my big question for you and all our listeners in Red Sox Nation. Is there enough room in the rotation for two starting pitching acquisitions?
I think so. I would like a back end guy too, or like middle of the rotation. So you need to get a 1-2 punch behind Garrett Crochet. So you got the one, which is the harder part.
Yes.
So just getting like a solid number two, whether that's one of the top free agents or one of those top trade targets, that's going to set you up really well. And then, you have the Brian Bayo you can slot in as your 3 or 4, just depending on, how other guys end up. And then, if you do get that other starter as your other 3 and 4 to go with Bayo, then you can just have a competition for that 5th spot. And plus, guys get injured. You need as much depth as possible, as we saw this year with guys going down and guys getting traded, and all this other shit. So I wouldn't mind having another guy just to have a little bit more stability. You don't have to count on Peyton Tolley and Connolly early, or what you might get out of Patrick Sandoval or Tyler Uberstein, or any of those type of guys. Like, I would like, it would be nice to have like just somebody that you can at least depend on for like a 3.5 to 4 ERA and like 175 innings. That, like, you don't need even like two number 2s. You need a number 2, and then you need like a number 3. So, and I think that will really set the rotation up for, a deeper run. You have the depth, And you don't need to go out there and trade for a starting pitcher like I feel like we need to every deadline
all the time.
Yeah, we say that we always have like all this depth in other dudes, and then we ended up having to like go and get Dustin May.
Right.
Yeah. So I would like to just not have to worry about that from the get. So I would definitely prefer getting 2 pitchers.
Yeah, so you're definitely ahead of me with some of the logic, but let's play the game in theory where you have Crochet bar none. Bayo, you can count on him coming back too. Somewhere in there, you're going to slot another guy, Joe Ryan, as an example.
Yeah.
Then you have 3 guys. You're going to be trying to fill 2 spots. Of the Red Sox starting pitchers that may or may not be filling those 2 spots, you have Cutter Crawford, Patrick Sandoval, Hunter Dobbins, Richard Fitz, Connolly Early, Peyton Tolley, Tyler Uberstein. I think Houck is out next year, but
yeah, Houck is out. Yeah, confirmed.
But that is sad. But that's 7 guys fighting for 2 spots. If you go out and you get a 4th guy, and then you have 7 guys fighting for 1 spot. I've been wondering if there's enough room for 2 acquisitions, because who wouldn't love 2 excellent starting pitchers? But you got 7 guys ready to fill the back end
and we
of the
needed
rotation.
like 12 guys to fill some of those spots this year. So, and some of those dudes you can just throw right in the pen, or you could keep in Worcester as well. Like, it's not like if Payne Tolley or Connolly Early start the year in AAA, that's going to kill you either, since, it happens every year too. You don't go in with that full 5, even coming in from spring training. You have another guy in like Cutter Crawford that's coming off injury. They might want to ramp him back up. And you have, like even Tyler Uberstein. He's never pitched in the majors before. So I don't mind even having 7 guys fighting for that 1 spot, because that 1 spot turns to 2. And then if another guy goes down, then you at least have 3 options to fill that spot where, let's say you only go in if you're already filling 2 of those spots, and then you're already, another man down, and it keeps getting a little worse each guy that you go to. Like,
Sure.
Let's not forget that. Like, if you get like a number 3, it's not like you're just calling up another number 3 from like Worcester. You might, but
Sure.
That's not a guarantee either.
Sure. So then in theory, the projected rotation, if you get just 1 guy, at least to me, you got Crochet, Joe Ryan, Brian Bayo. Then you have Cutter Crawford, Patrick Sandoval. Where do you fit Early in there? Where do you fit Tolley in there? Like, both guys you want getting major league starts because they look phenomenal, and I want them to keep looking phenomenal.
Yeah, but if you don't, they'll still get major league starts throughout the year. I'm not that is almost like guaranteed. And who knows? Maybe you have to use one of those guys to get a Joe Ryan too. Let's
True.
not forget about that.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's not forget. Like,
Sure.
you're gonna. It's not only give. You have to take too. Like,
No.
yeah. No take, only throw.
Yeah.
Like, so I think, the more pitching depth, the better. If they only do get that number 2 starter, I think you're still fine.
Yep.
Like, I don't think that's going to kill you. If you don't get that number 2, and you're having to hope one of these guys turn into that number 2, you're in a rougher spot. So,
Yep.
when, like, same thing with Craig Breslow was talking about, meaningful additions. Like, I don't want to go out there and sign Rich Hill. Like,
Yeah,
that's not a
nobody wants to go
meaningful,
out there
that's
and
not a
sign Rich
meaningful
Hill.
addition. Like, no, like, I don't want to go out there and get like another reclamation project, or, a guy that like is coming off of Tommy John, and we know we're going to have to hold on to him all year. If we want to do that, just hold on to Tanner Houck. Like, yeah.
I'm pretty sure Tommy John is a sandwich.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure too. We can just eat his arm.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
joke is always funny,
Yeah,
by the way.
yeah.
Yeah, if we go out there and we get a Rich Hill, then I fire Craig Breslow on the fucking spot.
Yeah,
like, you're
absolutely.
done, pal. Get out
Yeah.
of here. Take a hike. It's going to be one of the more interesting things to watch. Obviously, all Sox fans are going to be watching it. Like, you get a number 2, period. Like, if you get 1 addition, it is 1 fantastic addition. If you get 2 additions, they got to be 2 fantastic additions. Like, you're not signing Rich Hills. You're
Yeah.
not. If you are, then you're not leading this team in the right direction. So I would like one fantastic addition. I would like two, but I think
That'd be
one
great.
is
Yeah,
more
let's just get
realistic.
like two. Let's just sign a dude and trade for a dude. That seems like just so easy. We should
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't like Valdez. I think if you trade Devers,
I would be
because
pretty
of-
surprised if we got Valdez.
I would too.
Yeah.
If you trade Devers because it's a personality issue, and then you go sign Valdez, it's not a good look.
No, and he's trending in the wrong direction too, and he's a ground ball guy, so like you don't get a ton of swing and miss. So
Also, what
I was
turd.
always big on Valdez the last few years, but I would be pretty surprised if he's the type of dude they profile.
Yeah, I agree. And I know you had mentioned Cease earlier. I'd have some interest in Cease. To me personally, he's always been kind of unexciting.
He's a little inconsistent for me.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know what you might actually get out of Dylan Cease. Like, he could be, like, a top 5 Cy Young guy, or, like, he could just be, like,
A three.
kind of a back end.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, let's be real. Yeah.
Yeah, unlike Nick Pivetta,
Yeah.
you know you're getting one or the other.
Yep.
I gotta check his numbers. He had a really phenomenal year. But yeah, start their rotations in need. Outside of the rotation, here is where the conversations get really, really interesting for the Red Sox. What are the areas of need outside of your starting rotation? Because to me, it looks like there's more and more need at every position every day.
Yeah. Well, it'll also depend on what happens with Story and Bregman. I do think
course.
both end up on the team next year.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and
Knock on wood.
Yeah, knock on wood. But
Yeah, I would love them.
I do. Right until they're not. I think those are guys that are going to be back.
Yep.
So that really just you have your catcher pretty much figured out. Maybe you get a backup. That's less important. Like you don't care. You have
Ali Sanchez. Yep.
Yeah, Ali Sanchez. He's coming back. So that really just leaves like first base and second base at that point.
Uh-huh.
So you could, just be like, hey, Meyer, you're a dude. Or you could even like, put Meyer at short and
Put Story back at second.
Yeah, you could do that too.
He did very well
Yeah.
at second.
Yeah, so you could just go with the cheap homegrown option there. And then, you have some depth in terms of like Romy and David Hamilton and Nick Sogard and
Yep.
yada, yada, yada.
Yep.
And that really leaves first base. And I feel so bad for Tristan Casas. Like, he's gotten the short end of injuries. And, we've seen that he can be a great player, but we've also seen that like he can look lost at the plate at times too. So it's really hard to pencil him in for anything.
Yep.
Yeah. And you could also argue DH is open too if they do end up trading Massa, since I think that's possible. They could just want some salary relief essentially. So
Yep.
I think that's very possible too. You could have Casas kind of slide into either the first or DH or whatever. Or you could, have the alignment of the team where the DH is open, kind of,
Yeah.
like they said, those liars. Yeah.
Like a liar.
Yeah. So there's not a ton of guys that like would really move the needle too much for a lot of those positions that, obviously we're talking about Pete before, and, you could like sign like a Eugenio Suarez and move him over to first or DH or
Sure.
something like that too. Other than that, this team is in kind of desperate need of power, as we were also
Yep.
talking about
Yep.
before. So just getting a guy that even if there's like some swing and miss in his game or something like that, I think just 30 home runs would do this lineup well. Obviously, Kyle Schwarber would be the dream coming back home.
Yeah. Hi, Kyle.
Yeah, I almost forgot about him.
Mhm.
So, and then you kind of figure out second base and the middle infield or whatever.
Yeah. Well, Kyle Schwarber is tricky because he does one thing incredibly well,
Yeah.
and then he does four things incredibly not
Yeah.
well. Like you could stick
But
him
you
at
can
first
you can
base.
get. I don't even think so. I think you just put him at DH. You're like hit ding dongs.
Yeah, exactly. You just make him a pure DH, which I know this team likes flexibility around the DH. I would love to have Kyle Schwarber back, but I think you got to rely on him to play first or backup catcher.
Yeah,
Which again, Kyle Schwarber unfortunately does four things not very well.
Yeah. I'll take the 40 to 50 home runs at any position. Yeah.
I think anyone would. That's going to be an interesting story in the offseason. I like the idea of Alonso. 7 years, you're on crack.
No, yeah, he's not getting that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the also good thing about Alonso is because he had the qualifying offer attached last year, he can't get it again. So wouldn't cost a draft pick, which I think actually does matter for the Red Sox.
They love their draft picks.
Yeah, hey, it's understandable. Good cheap talent. You've gotten good dudes out of them. I'm not complaining about that. So yeah,
We've had a lot of middle infield talk, you and I, in the last week or so. We've had a few interesting, just like early eye options. Tell me about your middle infield early speculations.
yeah. There's not a ton of dudes out there.
There are
Unfortunately,
not.
yeah.
Correct.
Like some of these are getting real creative.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I don't think it ends up happening. I think he ends up going to another team. But like, probably the best middle infielder out there is Bo Bichette.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's young, apart from his 2024 pretty consistent bat. He doesn't hit like a ton of home runs, and the defense is bad. Maybe you slide him over to second base. Do I think it ends up happening with the Red Sox? Probably not. Like, I feel like they spend their money elsewhere, retaining guys or signing him more of a big power bat. But like, that was one that was like, huh. Because other than that, like the biggest free agent second baseman is like Gleyber Torres.
Yeah. That'd be interesting.
Somewhat, yeah, not a ton.
Yeah.
Like, like some power, but bad defense and a lot of swing and miss. Like,
Yep.
meh.
Yeah.
Like, it would not be like my first choice. Or, you do get a shortstop and you move Story over to second, but not a lot of great options out there either. Yeah.
There aren't. I don't think we get Bo Bichette because I don't think we're going to outbid the Yankees for Bo Bichette. I think the Yankees are just going to like write a blank check to Bo Bichette to come.
Oh no, they got Anthony Volpe, so yeah, they're all set.
Who?
Yep.
Anthony.
There was
Volpes?
one name somebody mentioned to me, and Okamoto from the Yomiuri Giants.
Okay.
He's been on the national team for Japan, so hey, I don't really know too much about him, but there you could get real creative with it, I guess. Yeah.
Mhm. There's also been some early speculation in general on Kettle Marte. Does that?
Ketel Marte.
Yeah. Does that move the needle for you?
No,
at
that
all?
very much moves the needle. I kind of forgot about him. Like, that would be like the number one dream. You're giving up a lot for him for sure. And there's a good amount of money owed. So, like, I think that's the reason why the Diamondbacks would consider it if you just ate it all, since they have to pay, like, Corbin Burns, or not.
Yeah, Corbin Burns.
Yeah, Corbin Burns, and they're still paying Erod, and now they're paying Carroll as well. So I think they would be open to trading that contract, and man, that would slot into the lineup so well.
Honestly, you could send them a Tyler Uberstein and Yostinson Garcia for.
That's gonna cost a lot more than that. You're talking about a totally
Okay,
early,
fine.
yeah.
I will throw in Masataka Yoshida.
yeah.
Just for you. I think that would be a really interesting look. I know I had mentioned earlier this week that I like Jorge Polanco because you're looking for maybe a shorter term option because you want Meyer to play more frequently in those positions. But Jorge Polanco in this postseason has been playing unbelievably
honestly,
well.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was open to first either.
He has played everywhere on the diamond at one point.
Probably.
Yeah, his shortstop numbers are not excellent. His third base numbers are right about average. His second base numbers are slightly below average defensively, but the bat has been good and consistent. That is his native position. I bet he would go to first if you ask him to. I would be really interested in 1 to 2 years of Jorge Polanco if that's something he's open to.
Yeah, no, I'd be open to that too. Maybe not my first choice, but it would be an improvement for sure.
It definitely would. It would be an improvement from the revolving door of Vaughn Grissom, Nick Sogard, Romy Gonzalez, David Hamilton, Trevor Story, Marcelo Meyer.
Yeah, would be nice. Like, here's the thing: he would just add to that revolving door. Like, he wouldn't be here for super long. I don't, unless if it's Ketel Marte, I don't think there's a long-term solution. Unless if it's Marcelo Meyer or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think Marcelo ends up at short anyway. So
yeah, exactly. And of that revolving door, right? Marcelo Meyer is the guy you hope is the last door. Close the door on Marcelo Meyer and keep
have him
him
for 6 years and just
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we want Trevor Story to opt back in and stay for the next 2 years, obviously. But We've seen injuries plague this team, and this team without a shortstop just,
Yeah, we can't have Alberto Mondesi coming back.
the Mondesi dude.
Yeah.
And we can't have Kike here, but he's playing phenomenal third base for the Dodgers, and he's playing phenomenal postseason baseball for the Dodgers. So, classic Kike Hernandez. Do you think there's any chance Story opts out?
I think there's a chance, yeah. I mean, it's just such a thin class that, like, he could just be like, hey, like, you know, see what else is out there. And what, 2 years, $50 million? That's still pretty good money. Like, he would probably be like, hey, I want, like, you know, 3 or 4 years at, like, 18 to 20, you know, like, even a little bit less annually, but just like, this is where I know I'm going to end my career, you know?
Yeah.
So I think teams would be a bit concerned about the health injuries and injuries, which is kind of valid at this point. But I would think, you know, even if he does opt out, there's a chance he comes back. So
Yeah.
that's how I think that's what's going to happen with Bregman too. I think Bregman does end up opting out, and I think we end up working out something.
I would take, after the years they had here in Boston, I would take both of them back
Yeah, absolutely.
pretty quickly.
Yeah.
You had a homework assignment for your game this
I did.
week.
Yeah, I think I'm going to crush this one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Okay, well, no, let's go over the game.
Yeah. So, the game, which I think I gave to you yesterday, and the fact that you turned it around this quick, I'm proud of you.
Yeah,
I'm
thank
always
you.
proud of you. The game this week was to design an alternate jersey for the Seattle Mariners. Just the jersey was the idea, but if you did the whole uniform,
I got a
bonus
hat
points.
too, yeah.
Oh, you put a hat in there.
Yeah.
So we'll do a little show and tell on your game. What does your alternate jersey for the Seattle Mariners look like?
Okay. I'm going out there. This is a lot different than their normal one, so.
Okay.
And I actually got two, but I'll
If you
start.
say teal, I'm gonna kick your
No,
ass.
it's not teal.
Okay.
So, you know, obviously the teal's great, and instead of teal, you know, you just go with the classic white.
Okay.
Yeah, and instead of the like blue pinstripe, it's a red pinstripe. Yeah,
Okay.
and instead of saying Mariners,
Okay.
we have it in this old kind of like pointy letters that just say Mariners instead in red with like a white and a blue like outline on them.
Okay.
Yeah, and then for the hat, you know, you do get like the needle up there, and you
Okay.
get the teal brim. I'm thinking just complete navy.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And
I'm gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna pause you real quick. I was giving you this like confused face because I thought you were just designing a Red Sox jersey that said Red Sox and being a dick about it. But this is actually a very interesting
it's supposed to be
jersey.
the Red Sox, but it just says Mariners.
Oh,
instead.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. And then a
Yeah.
navy hat. What does the navy hat say?
B.
B for Mariners.
Mariners. Yeah.
Wow.
I think they would look a lot better.
I think you misunderstood the game.
Okay, that's why I thought of a second one.
Yeah. Okay. So
This one I think you're gonna like. even
you
more.
are the person that turns my hairs gray. Like every day I wake up, I find a new gray hair and I go, wow, I can't believe I asked him to design a Mariners jersey and boom, the Red Sox moved to Seattle again.
Yeah.
What is your Mariners idea?
Okay. So one thing Seattle is known for is the fish market.
Okay.
Yep. So
Okay.
what I'm thinking is this is a full uniform. So for the pants, you know, you usually have the white,
Okay.
but these are gonna be like a light, or not like a light, like a medium pink type
Okay.
of color. And then
Like a salmon kind of colorish, maybe.
oh, you're gonna like where I'm going with this.
Oh, okay.
then.
Tell me more.
For the jersey,
Uh-huh.
you get a little silver, and not only that, you get some scales on there.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
And then for the hat, so this is gonna be the best part. It's gonna be a 3-foot brim, and it just says "Woman fear me," or sorry, fish women want me, fish fear me, and then it's just a giant brim hat that looks like a salmon. So my whole idea is to have them look like a whole bunch of fish out there. And I think it would actually kind of work. And I would like Sean Palmer, if you're listening.
Yeah.
Sean Palmer,
Hi, Sean.
I'm going to get you on this right now so that way we can have those salmon jerseys.
I'll have to check the budget to see if we can commission an artist to create your 3-foot salmon brim hat.
Yeah.
But you know what? If Sean is willing to do it, I think that would be. I would love to see
we need
this.
to get on Fiverr and like get somebody to make this
Hey,
for us.
we will give you $10 if you create an entire baseball uniform with a 3-foot brim. I thought you were doing the 3-foot brim like a swordfish with just like the really long snout.
Oh, that could work too, yeah.
But you want to make it look like a fish and then give them a bunch of scales so it looks like they're a bunch of little like swimmy guys out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I love it. Let's make 40 of them.
Yeah, no, I think this would look better than their like new City Connect. So
You don't like the new City Connects?
they're fine, but they're not a salmon.
They're
They don't got scales. And by the way, I'm like not saying just like printed on scales. I want like the 3D, like you can feel them.
okay, 3D like red and blue like 3D glasses, or like you want to like glue scales.
You could like glue them on, like essentially bedazzle these jerseys, but with scales.
You know what?
It doesn't have to be actual salmon scales, by the way. It just has to look like them.
I was giving you a hard time, but like prepare for future games to design these types of jerseys for every MLB team.
I think I could do a really good job.
Wow. Jerseys, but if the name of the team was what the jersey actually was.
Yeah.
You're going to love the Red Sox, dude.
Oh, man, I can't even think of what I would do for them.
Big Red Sox.
Yeah. For the Red Sox, it would be orange and purple with like kind of this like, tubing font almost. I think Sean Palmer already made this one.
Hi, Sean.
Hi,
I'm
Sean.
so glad
Yeah.
you're listening. I hope you're well. I hope your daughter's well.
Yeah, congrats, Sean.
Yeah, congrats
on sex.
Absolute sex, confirmed sex haver.
Confirmed sex haver.
Yeah, your daughter, very cute though. Congratulations. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
I think these jerseys were great, and I enjoyed this episode, and I can't wait to talk more about the postseason.
Yeah,
and
we
the
should have a
offseason.
good one next week. We're still planning it, so
We
we
are.
don't want to give anything away. But it's becoming a yearly classic.
Yeah, a really
Even though
good
we
one.
didn't air the first one of them.
Yeah, maybe I'll pull that one out of the vault and clean
Yeah.
that up and get that one out. but-
Nah, I think we should just do it anyways.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think just like rip it?
Just rip it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I love you. Bye.
No,
go
I
Mariners.
love you. No,
yeah,
I
go
love
Mariners.
you. I love you.
yeah.
Okay, love you. Bye. Go Mariners. Okay, love you. Bye.
Hopefully by the time we record next, the Blue Jays are already dead.
Okay,
Oh,
love
well.
you.